Hello everyone, this is Noha and today I'm going to talk to you about all the books that I've read in April. Not all of them, but I've read, it's not all sounds as if I read a lot of books, but I've read only 4 and surprisingly I enjoyed all of them and I have a few things to say about one, but we're going to see that. So in April I've read Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. Okay, lots to say about that. And I've read Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I butchered his name right there. And I read Wicked Saints by Emily Duquesne. And that's a lot. Okay. And finally, I've read Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, which is my favorite in the month. Actually, I like all these 3 except for Crescent City. They didn't make my favorite list. And without further ado, let's start talking about Crescent City first. I waited for this book for I think years. I remember that back when A Quarter of a Mist and Fury was released, I started stalking Sarah J. Maas on her Pinterest board, and she had this board where she put images and mystical things about Crescent City, and the board was named Crescent City. And I was like, okay, I need to read that right now. And I waited for this book for years, and I'm not gonna say that it disappointed, but let's talk about that. So this book is about Bryce Quinlan, who goes partying one night and comes back to find that her best friend was murdered by a demon. Not a good situation. And then she has to partner with Hunt Athalar, who is an angel, a fallen angel, who's a slave for the archangels. Wow. Okay. So this is an urban fantasy. There are a lot of creatures there. You'll find angels, you'll find fairies and fae, and you'll find vampires, I think, and werewolves, and sea mermaids. It was a lot. And I enjoyed it. Overall, I give it 4 stars, and here's why I give it 4 stars. So the first 300 pages of this are very slow, very confusing. She throws a lot of information at you, and you're like, okay, I need a glossary, so this needed a glossary, and I'm expecting that the second book will have one. I don't know what went wrong, but I didn't enjoy the writing as much as I remember that I did with the rest of her books. I mean, if you've read Kingdom of Ash, you know what I'm talking about. But I pushed through that, and I ignored some of the things that were in the first half of the book, and then I shut down my mind and I was like, okay, so we're gonna just enjoy that, we're not gonna think about it, and we're not gonna predict anything. So I started enjoying it. That was the trick. And turned out well. So the more you go into the plot, the more it becomes interesting, the more it becomes more intense, and those last 300 pages saved the entire book for me, and that's why I give it 4 stars. So I basically gave it 4 stars because I enjoy urban fantasy, and I loved how diverse and vast the world was, even though I still need a glossary for this. And for the 400, 300 last pages, that was it. So I'm waiting for the second book, and the epilogue is based, my opinion is based on the epilogue. I need the second book for that. So that's it for Crescent City, no more. And then I picked up Shadow of the Wind, which was recommended for me years ago by a lot of people, and then I was like, not the time for it, and picked it up finally, and a lot of people are happy with that, even though I am. So this happens in Barcelona, 1945, and the city is desperately trying to heal its war wounds, and the author poetically takes us through all of that, and we meet Daniel. Daniel is 11 years old, he's grieving the loss of his mother, and he finds solace in a book. And that book is named Shadow of the Wind, and it's by Julian Carax. After he reads the book, he goes on an investigation to find more about the author and more about his books that he wrote. And he discovers that there is someone who is literally destroying every single book that Julian wrote. And you go along on the adventure. So the writing was super poetic, it was amazing, and it takes you into a lot of details, and it blows your mind really, because if you're a reader like me, you're like have sparkly eyes, and it's amazing. And I have to say that the translator did an amazing job, because this book is originally written in Spanish. So I'm not a big fan of reading translated books, but this series is, I'm sure that the rest 3 books are gonna blow my mind just as much as this did one. And I think I said something wrong here. It's okay. And I can't wait to pick up the rest, because, and the audiobook is amazing. I listened to the audiobook while I was reading this, and it was as intriguing as the story is. I'm not sure this is gonna be a series that I binge read, because I read this book now, and I think I'm gonna wait a while until I pick up the second book, but this is amazing, 5 stars. And then I picked up Wicked Saints. I did not have this book on my list at all. I knew it existed, but I was like, okay, another YA dark fantasy book. No, this is amazing. I finished this book in 2 days because it is epic. I don't want to like go in depth on it. Basically, it's about a girl who can talk to gods, and these gods give her powers because she needs to save the world. And then you meet a prince who has some serious trust issues, and you meet a boy, and that boy has a horrible secret. And not horrible, it's, I don't want to go deep into this, even the synopsis, because I'm the kind of person who doesn't read what's on the back of the book before I pick it up. And all you need to know about this is that it's filled with magic, it's filled with romance, it has some serious dark magic related things, and it's, I wanna say wicked. It is wicked. And I'm dying for the second book. It came out, but my copy's not here yet, so bear with me. And finally, I picked up my, what do I say about this? It was everything that I didn't expect it to be. Okay, so I'm gonna put this down because I need to like talk. Okay, so Chain of Gold. I had below 0 expectations for this book, because if you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I didn't enjoy Queen of Air and Darkness. And here's why. I'm a huge fan of the Shadowhunter Chronicles. I remember that 7 years ago I discovered the Immortal Insurance after I watched the movie, which I like, by the way. And that was it. I remember that I spent months upon months binging through the Immortal Instruments and discovering the Infernal Devices, which is probably my favorite book that Claire ever wrote. Serious, not book. Okay, so, and I've been waiting for Chain of Gold ever since I finished Clockwork Princess. But then the Dark Artifices came out. I loved Lady Midnight, I loved Lord of Shadows, but then Queen of Air and Darkness was a huge disappointment for me. I don't know why. I have no clue why I didn't I like it, but I'm gonna give this series a second chance. You need to rest and know that. So I had 0 expectations for Chain of Gold, and I went into this book knowing that I'm not gonna like it. And I finished this book in 24 hours because it was amazing. It was amazing. So basically, this first installment in the Last Hour series takes place in the 1900s, and the main characters this time around are the children of the favorite trio, Will and Tessa and Norjan. Okay, so they're the children, the second generation of the Infernal Devices, and it blew my mind. It blew my mind because it was very emotional to go back into this world, and I have to say that Claire has a magic trick when she's writing about London and Victorian eras, if we're talking about Infernal Devices, and Edwardian, yes? So Chain of Gold is in the Edwardian era, and Claire has this talent where she can literally transport you in time and take you there, and you space out of the entire world and you're there in London in 1900 or 1800 or whatever the time is, and you just don't want to leave. So this is exactly what happened. I opened this book and I read the first couple of pages, and that was it. I was like, oh, this is Will, and Tessa is here, and Jim, and oh, everyone is here, and it's very emotional. It was super awesome, and the new cast of characters are very interesting, and you get a lot of diverse and complexity, and I have to say that it's more deep than Infernal Devices, but nothing can compare to how much I love the characters of Infernal Devices. But you have James Herondale, and you have Lucy, and you have Cordelia, and you have Matthew, who is a huge mystery until now. You have the Lightwood children, and then the Blackthorns come. And I have to say, it was everything that I needed this book to be, to like go back to loving the Shadowhunters books and continue on with reading, and it delivered. It's so delivered, and I gave this 5 stars, and I can't wait for the second book, and I need it right now, and which brings me back to why I'm in a slump, because I can't leave the Shadowhunter world right now. So I picked up Clockwork Angel yesterday, and I'm gonna reread the Infernal Devices again, which we may do a book talk about, and I'm gonna look for the Dark Artifices because I want to give this series a second chance. And that was it. That was everything I read in April. I think I'm still listening to the audiobook of Priory of the Orange Tree, which is a reread for me also. I love this book. I read it a year ago, I think, and it was amazing. So I'm listening to the audiobook right now, which is pretty awesome. I'm gonna link it in the comments. And that's it. I read 4 books in April. I gave 5 stars to 3 of them, which is yay! And I'm gonna see you guys in the next video, and if you've read any of these books, let's talk about them in the comments, and see you next time. Bye!